Is that really you?
No, you idiot.
You know, Hollywood really exceeds at making bad sequels. I mean, no matter what genre of movie we're talking about, whether it's action, drama, or comedy, there has always been an example of a bad sequel. And that includes today's subject, horror. Son of the Mask is a sequel to the beloved 1997 movie, but is considered one of the worst sequels ever created, and has a very infamous reputation online. You guys probably seen at least one review talking about how bad this movie is, but I have something most of those reviews don't have. A shitty microphone and very little editing skills. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the movie begins in a museum where the only actor from the first movie, the author guy, is giving a tour of the mythological section.
The Mephulas had plenty of guitars, harmonicas, and the like, but they had no hammers and spears, so they died.
A very passionate tour, as you can see.
This brings us to the final room of the tour, and my personal favorite, the Hall of Norse Mythology.
Oh my God!
This is Odin, chief divinity of the entire Norse pantheon, the All-Father as he's called. These paintings depict some of Odin's many sons. At is Thor, god of thunder. This is Balder, god of beauty.
Who's that ugly guy?
It's your mom.
That's Loki, Norse god of mischief. As the youngest son of Odin, Loki was the black sheep of the Norse mythological family. His constant mischievous pranks were an endless source of embarrassment to his father and his siblings.
Yeah, like the time he stole the Tesseract and destroyed half of Manhattan with it. Odin was really embarrassed that day. Oh, and speaking of Loki... And arrives Loki, looking like a rejected KISS member, ready to reclaim his mask.
This is a fake!
Yes, but it's a good fake. Ow. Sir, that is museum property.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me replace it.
What are you doing?
Well, you can technically say he beheaded him of his duties. I'll let myself out. Anyways, after brutally beheading the author guy and taking care of some guards, Loki goes on his way to find his real mask, which we find out is still floating on a river since the first movie, until it gets snatched by a dog whose owners are visiting some family.
Whoa! Captain Underpants, watch your aim. He's gonna need those. When are you two gonna have one for yourselves?
I'm sorry, dude, but does that look like the face of someone who can handle the responsibility of being a parent? By the way, this uncharismatic lump of meat is our main character, Tim. And basically the story is, his wife wants the baby, but he does not, thus creating conflict.
I'm not saying I don't want to have a baby. I'm just saying I don't want to have a baby right now.
So why not?
Because?
But my question is, why does he even need a baby? He already treats his dog like he carried him for 9 months. He might even love his dog a little too much, cause Jesus Christ, dude, who the hell would paint that on their ceiling?
What's this? Now, Otis, how many times have I told you? If you're gonna steal something with a little value.
Yeah, cause ain't no way something like that would ever be considered valuable. Meanwhile, Odin, who sent Loki down to Earth to get his mask, is pissed that he still hasn't recovered it. Meanwhile, Tim, who upset her wife during their argument, makes her a gift to cheer her up.
So sweet and thoughtful. Just why he'd make such a great dad.
No, trust me, being a good animator does not mean you're going to be a good father. Just ask Miyazaki. By the way, if you think that the movie has felt normal up until this point, well, don't worry. Because when Tim goes on a Halloween party at his work and he doesn't have anything to wear, he puts on the mask and... it instantly gets worse. So much worse.
What?
Oh, Jesus. Stop.
Yeah, good to be true. Can't take my eyes off of you. I love you, baby.
Stop.
Hard in the way that I stare. No one else who can compare.
Stop.
I love you, baby. Don't bring me down, I pray, oh pretty baby.
Please stop.
You're just too good to be true. Can't take my eyes off you.
Please, God, make it stop. Anyways, after violently assaulting my eyes and ears for 3 minutes and 15 seconds, yet somehow not the worst 3 minutes and 15 seconds of this movie. Because then he goes home and, well, you can visualize the rest for yourself.
Hey, what's gotten into you?
Let's find out.
Well, I guess you can't because the movie decides to visualize it for you. Why? For the love of God, why? Now that is the worst 3 minutes and 15 seconds of this movie. Oh, what? It was only a minute long? Well, it doesn't matter. That was fucking disturbing. God, what were they thinking? I can't even imagine someone thinking that up in the writer's room. Oh, hey Frank, I got some ideas for the movie. Hey Lance, what you got there? Well, I thought to myself, you know what this PG-rated movie needs? What? CGI green sperm. Get out, Lance. And you'll never guess what happens next.
Pregnant.
So they end up having a child out of the mask, and Odin is most pleased. In fact, he is so pleased he shows Loki how good of a father he really is.
You know, Thor never gave me this kind of trouble.
Oh, here we go again with the Thor crap. Thor. You know, Father, I'm not like Thor. I'm never gonna be like Thor. Can't you just love me for who I am and not for who I'm not?
No! I want you to be more like Thor!
Yeah, no wonder Loki ended up the way he did. You're a terrible father.
I felt a tremor. A child has been born of the mask!
Wow. Baby's born of the masks. That sort of makes me kind of like a dad, huh?
Find it!
The baby or the mask?
Find the baby, and you will find the mask.
Right.
Meanwhile, in the Avery house, we discover something joyful. Okay, how does this movie manages to one-up itself with the scary-ass imagery? I mean, the floating head, the monster baby, anything the mask does, the sperm, even though that was more disgusting rather than scary, and now a CGI demon baby. Can it get any worse?
Hello? No one even worships you anymore.
I need to shut my mouth from now on. Anyways, that horrifying showcase of computer-generated effect was Loki, looking for the exact baby the mask was born from.
Who are you?
You.
Me?
Who?
Meanwhile, in the Avery house, we get to witness Tim's incredible parenting skills. Hey, at least the movie would have been shorter. Anyways, the situation does not get better for our friend Tim, because not only does his wife leave town for her work, but he also has to bring his job home to take care of the baby. Let's hope next time he accidentally tries to stab his baby, he's actually successful.
Ma?
Did you say mom?
Mama.
You said mama. Well, can you say dad?
Mommy.
That's great. You're doing great. But come on, say dada.
Pussy!
Meanwhile, Loki goes house to house trying to find the baby.
Let's see if you're the one.
Bend! Morph! Shapeshift! We'll do something for Odin's sake.
Meanwhile, at the same time, Otis, the family dog, decides he's tired of no longer being the favorite child, and somehow has enough intelligence to know how the mask works, so he digs it up and wears it, turning him into live-action Scrappy-Doo. but somehow even more uglier than the actual live-action Scrappy-Doo, and hatches up a plan to kill the baby. At the same time, the baby hatches up his own plan to get his dad institutionalized. I don't know what doing that achieves, but I guess it's a good thing having life goals at his age. Which leads into attempts of him trying to traumatize his own dad. And us, the audience, for that matter.
Baby, my heart's on fire. Refuse me, honey, you
Anyways, after the baby successfully convinces his dad to never have a child ever again,
Elvie, you wouldn't do that to Dad, would you? Can you say Dad? Dad?
Boobies.
Otis finally finishes his Rube Goldberg trap to try to kill the baby, but no surprise, he outsmarts him, leading into Peter's favorite scene in the whole movie.
Family picture.
And after nearly 2 minutes of unpleasant animal abuse, which unless you're these two is very hard to be good at, the mask finally comes off the poor puppy so we can stop seeing him get tortured. Right as Loki finally makes it to the Avery house.
I left your package in the foyer.
That's it, buddy. First I'm taking you to a pediatrician, then I'm taking you to an exorcist.
Loki finally finds out that the masked baby is Tim's son and he chases after them. Loki finally catches up to them in an alleyway and corners them. Loki is a god in a sack. Oh, Loki, you absolute whore. Anyways, after trapping Tim, Loki is ready to kill him and take the baby. Until...
You have defied me for the last time. I've had enough to hear with you.
Dad, please listen to me. You're holding the baby.
Silence! You have left me no choice. I hereby stripped of your immortal powers, forever banished to the land of mortals.
No, please hear me out. That baby.
So after all of that, Odin decides to take away Loki's powers, only to give him back to him a few minutes later. Also, after he loses his powers, the baby does this to him and he is completely fine. This movie's logic does not make any logical sense. Anyways, after Loki gets his powers back, he tries to confront Tim yet again, but not before giving him some trust issues.
Guess who?
General, continue.
So Loki tells Tim that if he wants his baby back, he must find his mask and bring it to him, right before torching his own ass and leaving. So remember those trust issues I talked about?
Tim? Tim!
Get out of there, Loki! Where's my son, you mongrel from hell?
Anyways, while Tim is ruining his marriage, Loki has some fun with the baby.
Can you, like, do anything you want, like me? I mean, can you do this?
You know, I feel like we need to take a little break from the insanity and the horror this movie has brought up upon us. So here's the baby in a cute little cowboy suit. Aw, wasn't that adorable? Now back to the suffering. So Tim and his wife finally catch up to Loki, looking to get their baby back, but uh-oh, who would have guessed?
I've grown attached.
Hey, we had a deal!
I'm the god of friggin' mischief. What did you expect?
I mean, he does have a point. But I guess Otis was having none of Loki's shit because he decides to give him a nut exam. So that's why his dick was green that night.
Honey, I think it's time we trade up.
Ah yes, the Crackmobile. Okay, but in all seriousness, that car looks pretty cool. So they finally catch up to Loki, again, and him and Tim partake in an unfunny battle for the custody of the baby.
And Loki said, let there be a brick wall.
And there was.
Anyways, after all of that, Loki realizes that they're both pretty equally matched, and decides to have the baby choose who he wants to be with.
Alfie, I'm your real dad.
Come on, you little devil. Let's play.
Well, let's see. An immortal god and an Asgardian, or a loser dad who almost fed me glass. Well, this is going to be an easy decision. But we all know who the good guy here is, so of course he goes back to his real dad. And Loki is completely fine and accepting of that fact. But how is he able to do that without the mask? Okay, but I'm not questioning this movie's logic anymore, considering there's like 5 minutes of this movie left. So let's just we all accept he can do that. Anyways, after all of that, Odin finally shows up to stop Loki and decides to lecture him.
You are, in every sense of the word, a failure.
Hey, we both knew it would end like this, right? You always set me up to fail, at least in that respect. I'm living up to your expectations.
Silence!
But then this dumbass decides to give his own lecture instead, and gives one big speech about
Family, 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 family.
and somehow managed to get Loki and Odin to bond, and everything ends happily ever after, with Tim and his wife getting to keep their demon-infested baby without taking away his powers. God, I fear for the child that's gonna bully him in school. And the movie ends. Wow, that was the greatest hour and 30-minute condom commercial I have ever seen in my life. Son of the Mask, to no one's surprise, isn't a very good movie. The idea of having a fully CGI baby as the focus of the movie, while maybe ambitious at the time, didn't really work. Cause the baby does not leave any impressions on the movie. Minus, of course, all the nightmares you're gonna have about it tonight. And the same goes for the dog, who does absolutely nothing but laugh maniacally and get tortured. Which should be something you would want given a face and a design like that, but again, it's not fun, it's just unpleasant to watch. Then what you left with? An unlikable main role who does not even reach the level of godhood that Jim Carrey achieved in the first movie, a vanilla wife who basically has no character outside of being very supportive, I guess, and constantly wanting to get knocked up. The only alright character in this movie is Loki, whenever he isn't covered in something computer generated. And speaking of something computer generated, the CGI in this movie. Boy! Now, I'm a guy who could give two shits if the CGI in the movie is good or bad, cause I mean, just think of the poor VFX artists. But when your character designs are so bad and unappealing, and your CGI baby looks so ugly and constantly noticeable, no amount of improvement in visual effects technology or rendering is gonna make it look real or appealing. So, you end up with a sequel that, despite having a bigger budget, ends up having worse characters, worse effects, worse story, worse slapstick, and overall fails at everything the first movie succeeded at. You end up with an awful sequel. But a pretty damn good horror movie. I mean, Christ, it's hard to achieve mental scars that deep. And with that, we come to the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this shit show of a ride. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and goodbye.